Hi everybody, and thanks for watching. Today we're going to look at how to change or update your address at the IRCC. Now this might happen when you're moving to Canada from another country or when you are moving residences in Canada. So what you will do is you will go to canada.ca, click on English, and then you can go to sign into your account. You can scroll down to right here, it says changing your address. Address updates are not automatically shared between government departments. To see all services for which you need to update your address, you can click here. So we're going to click there, change your address. And then it states most common service address changes is for the Canada Revenue Agency for personal, the Canada Revenue Agency for your business, Service Canada, or Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada, the IRCC. So we are going to change that today and update our address as we have moved. So we click on Immigration, Refugee. And then it will ask you, where are you applying from? So it will say either in Canada, in the United States, or outside Canada and the United States. If you are in Canada, you click on in Canada, and then it gives you all the information for if you're in Canada and updating your address. The most cases you can use the online service, which is great. The changes should appear in your file within 5 business days. Now with COVID, it has been taking a little bit longer, so it might take 5 to 7 business days. Then step 1, check if you can change your address online. Now you can read through all of this. It states that your case is being processed in Canada, your address is in Canada, you are moving within the next 3 weeks or have already moved. They prefer if you do your update as soon as possible, but within 10 days of moving. And they will also state you must also have either sponsored a member of the family class, applied for permanent residence from within Canada, applied for permanent resident card, applied for Canadian citizenship, applied for proof of citizenship, applied to renounce or resume Canadian citizenship, or applied for a search of the citizenship records. You also, step 2, gather your documents. You may need documents related to your application, including one or more of these. So you might need a copy of your application for your PR. For instance, you might need your fee receipt as well as any letter or official document the IRCC has issued you. Step 3 is change your address online. Use the online service to tell us of your address change. So there you see step 3 information. You can start if you have an immigration application in process and a representative on file, paid or unpaid. The mailing address in your file will be your representative's address. Then what if I can't change my address online? If you can't change your address online, you can change it using this web form. So you can just click right there and it will take you through to the web form that you need to complete and submit. Then follow the instructions and include all the details we ask for. If you recently immigrated to Canada, you must tell us your new address to receive a permanent resident card. And then if you moved to Canada after you submitted an application for proof of citizenship, search of citizenship record, or to renounce, to give up your Canadian citizenship to a mission outside Canada and the United States, then you need to contact the Canadian Embassy or the High Commission or Consulate where you submitted your application to change your address. So that is the 3 different options that you have for in Canada, in the United States, or outside those 2. So we're going to say start, click on start right here because we're going to do it online. You can read through all of the terms and conditions. Click I have read, understood and agree with the above terms and conditions and say continue. Then it will ask you basic information. You may have one or more identification numbers depending on your type of application. Use the help link to get a detailed description of where you can find each identification number. So you can just click here if you're not sure and it will give you the information right there. The types of identification that they accept is your client ID number or your unique client identifier, which is your UCI number, the receipt number, your IMM 5401, the application number or case number, a record of landing number, permanent resident card number, your citizenship receipt number, your citizenship file number or group number, and your confirmation of permanent residence number. So you can use any one of these. My suggestion is go with your UCI as that will connect everything that is currently in your profile. If you choose one of these, then it might not connect to all of your other profiles that you have. So we're going to go with the UCI, and then you just provide your UCI number right over there. They're also going to need your surname, your family name, or your last name. Then they will need your date of birth with the year, month, date, and as well as your place of birth. So you can select which country it is. It's a drop down, so you can just scroll down, or if you have a specific country, say for instance South Africa, you can just click S and then go down to South Africa. And then after you've completed all of that, you can just click continue. What will state below is your old home address that we have on file. Enter your new Canadian home address. If the old home address fields are blank, we do not have your address on file. Please enter your current home address under new home address. And if you scroll down, you'll notice that your old address appears on the left and your new home address you need to insert on the right. So you need to insert the building number, the street name, your city, your province, and the country, which is obviously Canada, as well as postal code. And if you scroll further down, you'll see that there is also your phone number and the date the new address comes into effect. So just include all of that information right over there. And then also if your mailing address is the same as your home address, just click the little dot there and that will also fill in your new mailing address below. Note, do not click this button right here as that will remove your access. So if you click there, it states remove website access to my application status and address information. Note, this means you or anyone else who will no longer be able to access your application status and address information on this website. You have to contact us to learn about changes to your application status and to update your address information. So please don't click that box over there. And then once everything is completed with your addresses, click continue. I also give you the opportunity to include any other persons that's listed in your application that is also changing to the new address, and then they say please enter the following information, which is their surname, family name or last name, their given name, their date of birth, their client number, which is the UCI number, the sex and place of birth, and then you can add that person automatically with your update, which is great. And once you happy with all of the information that you've completed, you can click on continue. And you can check the information, make sure it is correct. If there is something that you need to change, just click on the change button right over here and you can update the new home address or new mailing address if there's something else that's missing or that you've mistyped. And scrolling down, if you're happy with your address, they say please enter your email address in order for IRCC to contact you in the event that there are problems updating your address information. Your email address, along with all other personal information contained in this request, will be deleted 2 months after being received. So there you go, just insert your email address there, and then it states that the information I have entered is correct, and you can click on submit. And within 5 to 7 business days, your address should be updated on the IRCC site. And to check that, you can just do this whole process again and check if the old address is now your current address. So easy way to check and make sure. So what happens if you complete the first section and this is the page that opens up to you? So it states that we were not able to identify you using the information you provided. There could be 3 possible reasons. So these reasons can be, please be sure the information you entered is correct and then try again. Secondly, this service is only available to clients with application in process. We may have received your application but not begun processing it yet. The following link may help you determine if your application is being processed. So you can click on that and find out how long it might have taken for your application to be processed. And thirdly, you have to have applied for one of these. If you don't have one of these services currently in process, then you cannot use this online updating tool. And I will show you now what you are going to have to do. Okay, so we want to update our address for the IRCC. Now, if you don't have one of those allocated applications in process, you can do it in the following way. They're going to ask you, where are you applying from? In Canada, in the United States, or outside of Canada and the United States. If you are in Canada, select in Canada. It will state here that if you're in Canada, it will take 5 business days to update your address. Step 1 is check if you can change your address online. Now, if you have a permanent residence application or a permanent resident card or a Canadian citizenship or proof of citizenship or renouncing or resuming your Canadian citizenship, or if you've done a search for citizenship records, if you have any of those applications in at the IRCC, then you can process it online. If you don't have an application, one of those applications currently, you can always go to the web form right over here. So you'll see here that it says change your address online, start, and you can follow the process there. Or what if I can't change my address online? And you will just complete the web form and submit that to the IRCC. So we're going to click on web form, and then you can read through all of this. You can go down to inquiry, the type of application inquiry. So the type of application or inquiry would be change of contact information. Click on that. And you can also click here on the question mark to see what information they give you regarding that question. So they say, please select the name of the application that you have applied for. You must have already submitted the application in order to send your inquiry. So then your inquiry, your message must be in English or French. Canada's official languages, and you have a limit of 1,500 characters. And then note that if you are submitting an address change, include your new address with your street name, your street number, your city, your province, your postal code, and country code. If you are submitting a change in email address, include and specify your old email address and your new email address. So for your physical address, you don't need to provide them with the old address, you only need to include your new address. With changing your email address, you would need to submit the old as well as the new address. So you can write your message here to state what it is that you are wanting to do. And then they're also going to ask the applicant information, which is your family name, your given name, your email address, your date of birth, your country of birth, your client ID number, which is your unique client identification number, which is your UCI, your application number, your telephone number, your mobile number, and then right at the bottom of the form there's the inquirer information, so the relationship to the applicant. So if this is for yourself, you would say applicant, or if you're a representative, you would click that, or a sponsor. So you would select which one is applicable, and then the family name, the given name, the email address, the telephone number, the mobile number, and then your consultant IRCC number. And then you can read through the consent and disclaimer. You can click on I agree with the consent and disclaimer and click next. Okay, so if it's a case-specific inquiry, then what you can do is you can add an additional document here. So they ask you, would you like to include a document with your submission? And you can either say yes or no. If it isn't a case-specific inquiry, then you can just say no, and you can confirm your email address and your date of birth and say next, click next, and then it would say success. Your inquiry has been successfully submitted. We will get back to you with answers to your questions as soon as possible. If your application is within normal processing times, you will not receive a reply from the IRCC. But because this is not a case-specific inquiry, this is just to update them with your address, it should take 5 to 7 business days for you to have an updated address with them. And that is how you can update your address if you don't have a current online application for PR or citizenship. Great, I hope this video was helpful to you, and please like and subscribe, and we will try and keep you up to date with what's going on. And thanks everybody.